We are incredibly lucky today to have a picnic with John Kohler, who inspired me to go raw vegan 11 years ago, and I just can't be more grateful because it really just transformed my life. I was feeling so sick and super scared, and I just really didn't know what to do. I didn't have credit card back then, so I couldn't buy any of the raw food books, and John was the only one who had a beautiful site full of very helpful information. And I'm so lucky because this raw vegan information was very balanced, not extreme, not going too far into like only eating fruit or only eating like no fruit, like high fat. It was just balanced. I'm so grateful. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was able to stick to it. And I'm feeling so much healthier now and so much happier than 11 years ago when I started. And today I would like to ask John, what would you recommend to people today who are just starting with raw food and they feel that it doesn't work for them?
That's a good question. So there's always many reasons why a raw foods diet may not work for somebody. And you know, the thing for me is that what is the definition of raw foods in the first place, right? You could be a raw foodist and eat nothing but fruit. You could be a raw foodist and drink nothing but juices. You could be a raw foodist and eat nothing but sprouts. You could be a raw foodist and eat a variety of sprouts, fruits and vegetables, leafy greens, you know, and healthy whole food sources of fat, some nuts and seeds, right? And so I think for me, it's more about like, what are you doing, right? It's like, if you're doing something and it's not working, right? It's not that what you're doing it's not that raw foods isn't working. It's what you specifically are doing as your specific raw foods diet isn't working. So, you know, I just would encourage without, you know, I mean, I have friends and doctors that would help you out, take your blood test and figure out why it exactly doesn't work. And that's not me, I don't do that. But what I will say in general is that I see people be very imbalanced in raw foods, meaning, you know, maybe they're eating too much fruit, or maybe they're eating not enough fruit, or they're not eating enough fat, or they're eating too much fat, or they're not eating enough, you know, antioxidant rich, deeply pigmented colored fruits and vegetables with high antioxidants, anthocyanins, and different phytochemicals, and eating a wide variety, because maybe some people are eating, you know, bananas and dates and romaine, and that could be a raw foods diet. But you know, I eat so many different foods on a regular basis. I go to produce terminals, I have a whole garden in my backyard where I grow fruits from all over the world that literally you can't buy at the grocery store. So, I mean, it could be like, why have I been successful and other people haven't, is because I try to include a little bit of everything, you know? When I got organic melons that are going bad, that's what I'm eating until they run out, and then I'm gonna eat, you know, my dragon fruit or something else. So it's not just I'm only ever eating apples and bananas because those are my two favorite fruits. Actually, I hate regular bananas and apples unless they're like heirloom and fresh picked and like super good. I'm not a big fan of them, so normally I would juice them in the way I will get some bananas in me if they're not like fresh from, like, you know, I had some in San Diego which were like totally fresh and good. Now I usually just get them and I'll put them into smoothies, so that'll encourage me to eat actually more greens out of my garden when I make, like, you know, banana with coconut water and greens out of my garden, and I like to use fresh mint in my smoothies. So now I'm eating, yes, some bananas for the nice texture that it gives, like a milkshake texture, but also more importantly the greens, and also including some green powder. So, you know, I mean, that's pretty much it. I want people to be more balanced, try to include as many different new kinds of foods that you may not be familiar with, because people are like locked in, like, oh, I like to eat lettuce but I hate kale, right? Well, kale might be the reason why things aren't working for you, because you're not eating kale. I mean, I don't know exactly why, but you know, there's so many different nutrients in foods. I'm not the expert on which ones exactly we need, but I want to give my body like all of them and let my body just pee out or poop out the ones it doesn't need. It's going to absorb the ones I need so that I could be successful.
Awesome. That's beautiful.